What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and it's review time. The Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 has been in my possession for roughly a week, and I have my thoughts, and as always, 5 categories to score it on: build quality, design, software, cameras, and price. Let's go! Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm the Average Dad and I review every flagship Chinese device, from foldables to candy bars and everything in between. And this week, it's the turn of the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4, a fantastic offering and a slight upgrade to the Mix Fold 3. But is it enough? Well, the first category is build quality. All variants come with a glass front. I believe this is Xiaomi's Kunlun glass, or whatever they're calling it. There's Rhinoceros, there's Kunlun, there's King Kong. There's a whole load of things. All I can tell you is it seems to be fine. I've not received any scratches yet, which is good. And like all Chinese devices, it comes with a pre-installed screen protector anyway. Now, the rear for most of the variants is going to be glass. Same glass as on the front. But my one is the Fiber Edition, which is a polycarbonate carbon fiber mix match, and it looks nice. I kind of wish it was more textured, but it looks nice. Now, in terms of ingress protection, the Xiaomi is one of the only ones out there to actually get an IP rating. This is IP8 water resistant, which is just like any candy bar flagship. You can duck it underwater for 30 minutes up to 1.5 meters. The reason you hear IP68 so often in candy bar phones is that's because they have full dust protection. You will not hear that in a foldable phone for a couple of years, in my opinion. The only phone that comes close is the Samsung Z Fold 6, and it has an IP48 rating, which is meant to be for dust particles a millimeter and bigger. There's not many dust particles that are a millimeter over though, so yeah, at least they're trying. I have to give them kudos for that, and I did in my review, which you can see, link in description. So Xiaomi have tried. Build quality wise, I have no issues with the glass. There's no scratches as mentioned. It seems to be solid, although I will not be drop testing it. They're trying with the ingress protection. I like that it's water resistant. Again, you don't get that on many foldable phones. So for build quality, I'm going to give Xiaomi a solid 4 out of 5. Now for the next category, design. And this is where, in my opinion, the Xiaomi takes the lead. Yes, I haven't mentioned this publicly or even in the members chat. You can join here. But I think the Mix Fold 4 is the best looking foldable phone on the planet. There you go. I've said it, clip it, throw it back in my face in a month when I change my mind, but I don't think I will. What Xiaomi have done with their slightly different shaped camera bump, I like. And practically, functionally wise, it doesn't wobble on the desk. So to me, that is a very good design choice. I also like the fact that there's those hints of gold in the carbon in this Fiber Edition. I love the fact it's now 9.5 millimeters thick folded. That's just insane, to be honest. Remember when the V2 came out last year and it was 9.9 millimeters and everybody shot their load? Well, this is 9.5 millimeters. And then unfolded, it's 4.5 millimeters. Just, again, crazy thin numbers. And when you consider what's going on internally, which I'll talk about in a second, design-wise, I don't see a flaw. The only thing I want to include here in design is the crease. And this is what, for me, holds the Xiaomi back from getting like a 5 out of 5 for design. The crease is a step backwards. While every other category from the Mix Fold 3 to the Mix Fold 4 is an upgrade, the crease isn't. The crease on the Mix Fold 3 is less noticeable than the new Mix Fold 4. And don't get me wrong, when you're consuming content, when you've got split screen, when you're using the phone, you'll not really notice it. It's only really when it's off and in certain lights, but still, that's no excuse. In 2024, we want to see CREASE, or should I say, we do not want to see a CREASE, which is basically where Vivo and Honor have got to with their inner screens. So, in terms of design, which is always subjective, can I please just put that out there as well? These are my opinions. Some of the information I am obviously giving you on stats is factual, but when it comes to design scores, it's subjective. And in my opinion, I give 4 out of 5 for design of the Mix Fold 4. From dimensions to that fiber look, but even, to be honest, all the colours. The white and blue look stunning. That white one, I'm not going to lie, I'm very tempted to get just because I'll have a white strap on my Garmin. And I know that sounds fucking ridiculous, but I'm tempted. So, 4 out of 5 for the first two categories. Now we move on to software. And again, like the Samsung in the review, this has great software. Nothing like Samsung because of the Good Lock app, but not exclusively limited to the Good Lock app. There was quite a nice debate and chat going back and forth in the Average Dad members chat about how Good Lock is basically the only redeeming feature when it comes to software. And again, that wasn't their hard take or hot take, that was just something they'd put out there for debate. I say with the S Pen, with AI integration, with just the ease of use, split screen multitasking, Good Lock app, yes, that's why One UI for me is the best software. But in terms of Chinese software, HyperOS, which is obviously available on all global Xiaomis like my 14 Ultra, is great. It's getting better and better month by month. It continues to get updates regularly. And for those that keep commenting saying Chinese software, do you get updates, or those that don't own one telling people that you don't get updates, you could not be more wrong. You get more software updates on the Chinese versions than you do global. Anyone that owns one will tell you that. In fact, if you're watching this, if you're an Average Dad member or you're a viewer of the channel with a Chinese phone, please pop in the comments that you get updates all the time. Now, stylus support is available in the Mix Fold 4, but I have yet to see a stylus that actually supports it. The V2 one and the Oppo doesn't. So if Xiaomi release a pen that can be used with it, then great, I'll stock it on the Average Dad tech store, but I can't seem to find one that works. Also, multitasking is on board, but it's nothing like the 4 or 5 apps you can have on the Samsung and Vivo. However, in terms of customization, there's lots you can do, from the AODs to the charging animations to notification animations and icons and fonts and all the usual stuff you kind of got on Android with just a bit more through HyperOS. If you've got other Xiaomi devices like a tablet or a laptop or another phone, you can instantly mirror your screen to that device, which is handy. All your messages, notifications, everything, it's basically your phone on your laptop or tablet, which is handy. And yesterday I talked about the Chinese ROM. That video was on my channel, you can see it from yesterday. There are certain software elements like Android Auto and remote desktop and wireless desktop mode that the Xiaomi doesn't have here in the UK/Western market, but certainly has it all in the Chinese market. So I do have to mark it down for software because it's not as easy and seamless as Samsung. It's also not as feature packed as One UI. But for me, it's a solid software skin over Android 14, and I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. Now, a couple of other things to mention that I tend to forget about is the internals. It's the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, like it is on all flagships these days. You can perform all the usual stuff you would do on any phone. You can game, you can photo edit, you can multitask, you can do all that stuff. However, this is my S24 Ultra. And this is about 8mm thick. And that's important because all of that heat has to dissipate somewhere. When it comes to ultra thin foldable phones like the Mix Fold 4 and the V3, the heat finds it hard to escape and to move around. So you are going to get more throttling sooner with a thin foldable phone. The X Fold 3 Pro is 11.2mm and it's kind of just on the cusp. I think it's like 5.4mm unfolded. So it's right on the cusp of over throttling more than a candy bar phone. But for the V3 and the Mix Fold 4, that is one sacrifice. It's not really a sacrifice. I mean, you can still game. It just, as I say, you'll reduce your frame rates quicker on a really thin fold phone. And then also internally, we have to talk about battery quickly. 5100 milliamp hours, a 67 watts wired and 50 watts wirelessly charged device. Hallelujah. I just want to reiterate that. 9.5mm folded, and it still has 50 watts wireless charging. That's faster wireless charging than this charges with a wire. And now, the category that most people care most about. Too many mosts. But it's cameras. First fact, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 is the only foldable phone, other than the Mix Fold 3, with quad cameras on the rear. Second fact, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 4 is the only large format foldable phone with a 1080p selfie camera. Go figure. You have put 4 8K lenses on the rear, but put a 1080p selfie camera. And about those lenses, they're not all 50 megapixels, that would have been nice. There's the 50 megapixel main, the 50 megapixel 2x telephoto, then a 10 megapixel 5x optical, which I'm not complaining about. I'm glad we have a 5x optical, like the Google Pixel and the Mate X3 and X5, which I absolutely appreciate. But 10 megapixels? Couldn't I just squeezed it to like 50? Because it shows. As I'm flashing up some images here of photos I took the other day, and you can see the comparison with the V3 and the Samsung Z Fold 6 on my channel as well. Man, I've done a lot of content recently. But the photos are good. The photos are good. I just want a little bit more. In my opinion, they're not X Fold 3 Pro level. They're not even Honor V3 level. So, as much as you are getting an extra lens, I would actually argue that you're not gaining any more versatility or image quality for sure. As mentioned, 1080p selfie video is just not good enough in 2021, never mind 2024. But if you're a fan of 8K or 4K at 60 frames per second, you can get that on all rear lenses. And the footage is good. The Gallery app itself has a lot of AI features that I never mentioned in software, but it does. And yeah, overall the camera experience is fine. It's just not the upgrade. I spoke about this before. The Honor Magic V2 was a good camera on the thinnest foldable phone on the planet at the time. The Honor Magic V3 is the thinnest foldable phone on the planet, but with a huge, and I mean huge, camera upgrade compared to the V2. The Mix Fold 4 is debatably not even an upgrade from the Mix Fold 3. And that doesn't mean that they're bad cameras. The Mix Fold 3 cameras are very, very good. But I wanted to see more. 4 50 megapixel lenses should have been the minimum, in my opinion. So, for that reason, it's not bad. But I think I gave the Mix Fold 3 a 3.5 out of 5. I'll need to go back and check. And because this isn't an upgrade, because the lenses have basically stayed the same, and the camera around for the Mix Fold 4, it's 2.5. You can let me know in the comments if I'm being too harsh, but I think 2.5 is justified. And now, the final round. Price. Oh, this is not a global version. So yes, it will be cheaper than the Z Fold 6, the Pixel Fold, the OnePlus Open, the V2 Global. But on the Average Dad Tech Store, which is the cheapest around, I've double checked my prices today in advance of making this video, I have the cheapest Mix Fold 4s on the planet. But for anywhere from like £1,150 up to £1,350 depending on storage, that is a fantastic deal for this device. And now that we know officially that it's not going to get a global release, we're stuck with it. So those that want to dip their toe into the Chinese foldable phone market, maybe the Mix Fold 4 is the one for you. So price wise, it's competitive. It's the same price as the V3. It's much cheaper than the Z Fold 6, but I'll keep that separate because it's global and it's way overpriced. I'm just going to give it a solid 3.5 for price because, again, to get one of the thinnest, it's the second thinnest foldable phone on the planet. It's the only foldable phone with quad lenses. To get that for like £1,200 or less is, yeah, pretty impressive to me. So 3.5 for price. Now, I should have written this down, but I can't actually remember the scores that I've given to this point, and I can't be bothered going back and checking the video. However, I do believe it's roughly 18.5. I'll pop an asterisk up here if I'm wrong. Either way, whether it's 17.5 or 18.5, a really, really good showing from Xiaomi. A couple of areas that I would like to see them improve on, but zero areas where they're absolutely failing, other than maybe the crease. That's the end of this video and the end of the review. I'll be back soon with my full review of the Honor Magic V3 and the versus video between the V3 and the X Fold 3 Pro. Until next time.